The holographic projection flickered to life in the center of the United Earth Assembly, casting an eerie blue glow across the faces of humanity's representatives. Ambassador Aliana Chen stood motionless, her dark eyes fixed on the grotesque collection of alien dignitaries that materialized before her. The Galactic Council had finally deigned to make contact with Earth, and their message was not one of welcome. "Humans of Earth," the lead counselor began, its translator rendering the aliens chittering into cold, mechanical English. "Your species has been observed. Your expansion into this sector violates protocols established long before your primitive ancestors learned to harness fire. You will cease all extraplanetary activities immediately and submit to Council authority, or face obliteration." The chamber fell silent. Aliana glanced at Commander James Rodriguez, humanity's chief military strategist, who sat in the front row with his arms crossed. His weathered face betrayed nothing, but she caught the slight twitch at the corner of his mouth. It wasn't fear, it was something far more dangerous than, inexplicably, absurdly. Someone in the back of the assembly laughed. It started as a single chuckle from a junior representative, perhaps too young to understand the gravity of annihilation, but the sound was infectious. Another laugh joined it, then another. Within seconds, the entire chamber erupted in laughter, not the nervous titter of the frightened, but the deep, genuine mirth of a species that had heard this song before. The council's projection wavered, confusion evident even across the barrier of alien physiology. "You, laugh." The lead counselor hissed. "You face extinction, and you laugh." Aliana stepped forward, her shoulders shaking with suppressed amusement. When she spoke, her voice carried the weight of 10,000 years of human history. "Forgive us, counselor. It's just that we've heard this speech before. Many times, actually." James stood, his boots echoing in the now quiet chamber. "The Egyptians told the Hittites to capitulate. The Persians told the Greeks. Rome told everyone. The Mongols, the British Empire, the fascists, the communists. Everyone's always telling someone else to surrender or die." He paused, letting his words sink in. "We're still here. They're all in history books. You compare your primitive tribal conflicts to the might of the Galactic Council." Another alien counselor sputtered, its tentacles writhing with indignation. "We command 1,000 worlds. Our fleets number in the millions. And we," Aliana interjected smoothly, "are the species that looked at the atom and decided to split it. We're the ones who saw a deadly virus and rewrote our own genetic code to fight it. When our planet tried to kill us with ice ages, droughts, and floods, we didn't pray to gods for salvation, we terraformed our own world and made it kneel to us instead." She activated her own holographic display, and images flooded the space between them. Humans in primitive shelters, braving ice age winters, ancient farmers irrigating deserts, medieval plague doctors studying the Black Death, World War II factories churning out tanks and planes by the thousands, the moon landing, Mars colonies, fusion reactors, quantum computers. "Do you know what makes humanity different, counselor?" James asked, his voice quiet but razor. "Every other species you've conquered probably reached a certain level of comfort and stayed there. They optimized, they found equilibrium, they became satisfied." He practically spat the last word. "We don't do satisfy. We can't. It's not in our DNA." Aliana continued the thread seamlessly. "When we invented the wheel, we immediately started thinking about how to make it turn faster. When we learned to fly, we didn't celebrate, we started building rockets. When we cracked faster than light travel, we didn't stop to congratulate ourselves. We built colony ships before the champagne went flat. You built your empire over thousands of years," James added, pacing before the projection. "How long did it take you to go from first contact with another species to galactic dominance? 10,000 years? 20,000? The council remained silent. "It took us 73 years from the Wright brothers' first flight to putting a man on the moon. 73 years. One human lifetime." James stopped pacing and locked eyes with the lead counselor's projection. "We've had FTL for only 30 years, and we've already colonized 17 systems. How many systems did you colonize in your first 30 years of FTL travel?" The alien's silence was answer enough. Aliana pulled up another display. "You say you've been watching us. Then you know what we're capable of. You've seen us fight wars that consumed entire continents. You've watched us nearly destroy ourselves a dozen times over. And each time we've pulled back from the brink and come out stronger, more united, more determined. You've seen our wars," James said coldly. "Now imagine that capacity for violence, that innovation, that absolute refusal to quit, turned outward, pointed at you. You threaten the council." The lead alien screeched. "No," Aliana said simply. "We're just telling you the truth. You came here expecting frightened primitives who would beg for mercy or tremble in fear. But we're humans, Counselor. We don't do fear. We do spite. We do stubbornness. We do hold my beer and watch this. James smiled, and it was not a pleasant expression. Our history is written in the blood of those who underestimated us. Empires that thought they were invincible. Diseases that should have wiped us out. Ice ages. Meteor strikes. Supervolcanus, our planet, has tried to kill us more times than we can count. We're still here. We've thrived. So here's our counteroffer, Aliana said, her voice steel wrapped in silk. You leave us alone. You don't interfere with our expansion. You don't threaten our colonies. And in return, we won't show you why humans became Earth's apex predator. And if we refuse, the counselor hissed. James and Aliana exchanged a glance. When James spoke again, his voice carried the quiet confidence of a species that had clawed its way to the top of the food chain and intended to stay there. Then you'll learn the same lesson the rest of our enemies learned. Humans don't surrender. We don't capitulate. We don't break. We dig in. We adapt. We overcome. And when we're done, we plant a flag in the ruins and start rebuilding. He leaned forward. So go ahead, Counselor. Try us. See what happens when you pick a fight with a species that thinks nuclear weapons are an acceptable solution to disagreements. The projection flickered, the council members conferring in angry alien tones. Finally, the lead counselor spoke, its voice subdued. The council will require time to deliberate. You do that, Aliana said with a gracious smile. We'll be here, building, expanding, thriving, just like we always have. The hologram winked out, leaving the assembly in darkness for a moment before the lights rose. The chamber remained silent for a heartbeat, then erupted in applause. James turned to Aliana. Think they'll back down? She shrugged. Does it matter? If they don't, they'll learn. One way or another, the galaxy will understand. Humanity doesn't kneel. James grinned. Damn right we don't. Outside, Earth continued its eternal rotation, carrying with it a species that had survived everything the universe threw at them. And now, as they stood on the threshold of the stars, one thing was certain. The galaxy would never be the same again. Humanity had laughed at the demand for capitulation, and in that laughter was a promise, a warning that echoed across the cosmos. We are here. We are not leaving, and we will not surrender. Not now. Not ever.